Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
And pink is a very, very apt colour as well, considering what we're going to talk about now. I'd like to make very welcome to the program Karin Horen. Good morning to you.
Good morning. I'm actually in Matakana this morning.
Yes, it is a bit of karma there, isn't it? And I've said to the people, I'm going to say a word that I've never said before in the radio. We are honoured to have on the program now the writer of a book about surviving breast cancer called I Am More Than Just My Tits. Karin,
yes, this is the title of the book.
That's the title of the book, and it's quite a book, isn't it? And quite a journey, obviously, that you've been through.
Yeah, I've had breast cancer twice. I was diagnosed at the age of 26 and at the age of nearly 40, so 39. I had 3 children, little girls, when I was diagnosed the second time. And I have also moved many countries and ended up in New Zealand in the last 10 years. And co-founded Pedal for Hope, which is a rehabilitation fundraiser for cancer patients, and the Pedal On program, which helps people rehabilitate after their cancer diagnosis. Yes. So a lot of stories there. The book is very raw, it's very honest, opens up a lot of discussions for many people.
I'd just like to make a quote that I think many people can relate to, and not just women, by the way. On my chest there are 2 foreign objects where my breasts once were. I won't go any further than that, but I think that makes the point that it is an extraordinarily personal journey that you take us on in this regard. And also, I imagine that through this journey, you've had to re-evaluate what you consider to be you.
Yeah, totally. It's really about finding a voice, finding your inner voice, I think, and talking about, we grow up, we have a certain perception about us as women and what we need to look like, and there's a lot of social media around it. And when a woman who lost her breast actually looks at herself, she looks at the scars, and there's a lot to it. It's not just the physical side of things, but it's actually who we are as humans, and trying to peel all these layers and actually really dig inside of our, confidence and values and what do we want to portray. And so when I look at myself today, and it's quite personal. I look at the stars, I look at stories, and I know I've got a story to tell. And this is why I actually wrote the book, is to open up and start these conversations so other women and men know how to treat women that are going through this disease. How do we treat each other? What can they do? How can you help yourself mentally to get over it and continue life and living a good quality of life after cancer diagnosis?
And absolutely. And I was just thinking, you mentioned the social media, which is a more recent manifestation of the kind of pressures that I imagine Hugh Hefner and those magazines that objectified women, that, let's face it, a lot of focus was on the breasts, wasn't it? And therefore it became...
a lot of focus nowadays, yeah. You can see young women just, everything is open cleavage on social media. And I ask the question, is this all you've got to give? Is that's all you've got? If you think that this is the only thing that you've got, then I think you're in a little problem. You've got a little problem, And I think, especially with us, that we're a little bit more we're older, maturing, we've got so much more to offer as women. And we need to remember that. And we're actually talking to the younger generation. I've got 3 daughters, and I want them to know that they're a lot more than just their tits.
Absolutely.
They carry a story. Each one of us is inspirational in their own way. And so definitely looking at social media, there's so much pressure. And what is perfect? And what are we meant to look like? And is the external so important?
Well, it's not. For what it's worth, you're an absolutely beautiful woman. I've got this photograph here. And,
thank you.
Well, you are. There's no doubt about that. Now, the reason you're in this country is because of the marvellous Manu Bennett, who I understand...
Yes, my ex-partner.
Yes, and he would have gone through a journey as well, wouldn't he?
Yeah, so he was away most of the journey. I wrote the book to also talk about what kind of support we need from men in our lives or our family or community. So it goes in circles, goes from your partner or your children and then goes to friends and community around. It was very hard for him. He lost his mother in a car crash as well. So I think facing me in hospital and knowing that he can't really do much as a male puts a lot of males in that place of, if I can't help and fix it with a screwdriver, what am I going to do?
This is the way blokes are wired, though. I'll just put in a little plug for blokes here. We are expected to fix things, aren't we? I mean, that's the traditional
role.
You can't really
fix it.
Yeah.
You need to let that person, even if it's a man or a woman that has gone through cancer, to go through their journey themselves. I always said to him and to other people, this is my journey. It's no one's fault. It's my journey to go through, to learn the lessons and to help myself. It was more about the children that was hard for me to see, because I wanted probably more support for them from that side. But on the other hand, you need someone to provide and to go away and support the family in these tough times. A lot of people need to give up work. They need to give up their assets to pay for things. And, there's always that question, what's more important and where do you put the red line and how much time can I spend with family, or on the other hand, go away and build my career. I always supported his career, and I think the book is very kind to him on that level.
Yes.
But there were moments where I found myself crying because all you want is love, and you want someone to support you, and you expect it. But once you take yourself away from it and really look deep inside, who's going to help you the most? It's actually yourself.
That's right. Yes.
So I know now that I am the one that can fix things, and I'm the one that is responsible for my own journey. And whoever gets on that train is welcome.
Well, that's wonderful. And I can certainly see why you are a motivational speaker.
Thank you.
Tell me more about your Paddle for Hope.
Paddle for Hope?
Yes.
I was just talking to someone who I'm sitting actually this morning with, who used to be in the Olympics, so I'm very thrilled to meet her today. But being on the water is very healing, and when I came to New Zealand in 2009, I tried to find something to do and a community to integrate with, and I was living in Taipuna at the time, and so I started paddleboarding and really fell in love with the ocean and the water, and realized that paddleboarding helps with range of movement. It helps me clear my mind, and my balance and stability got better and better.
Well, it would have to, wouldn't it? If you haven't got good balance on a paddleboard, you're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. And so we got a saying in the paddleboard community, you can stand up paddle, so anyone can stand up with me. But I met Starboard distributor in New Zealand, Victoria Stewart, and together we formed Paddle for Hope, which was started off as a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness and rehabilitation, and then we opened up the door to all cancers. Together with Pink and Steel Rehabilitation Trust, we formed a really amazing program called Paddle On that opens up the door to all cancer sufferers, basically for free, to paddle with physiotherapists on the water for between 5 to 8 weeks. And that gives them a better quality of life after cancer diagnosis. They can talk on the water, they can share their story without judgment, and get balance back, especially mental health gets so much better on the water. And then they become paddlers. They don't call themselves cancer patients anymore.
Yes.
And they belong to a new community. And so we try to get the trailer around New Zealand. We need a lot of help. I've been fundraising since 2011. We raised over $450,000 for cancer patients. There is no government funding for cancer rehabilitation in New Zealand, and therefore, if Jacinda Ardern is listening to this, or someone in the government, I would love to start that discussion and help more people after cancer get their quality of life, get rehabilitation, and because there's no program, there's no ACC for cancer, and you need that. You need to go back to normal life as much as you can.
Well, I don't think there's anyone better in the world to begin that conversation in that big roundhouse in Wellington.
Thank you.
I'm sure you will be successful eventually. As you have been with this book, it's just wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Karin Horen.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been lovely talking to you. And
you too.
And perhaps we can do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
Karin, thank you so much for your time.
Anyone can email me. I just want to say if someone wants to email me, has a question, I've got my Instagram page, Karin Horen, or my email, karin@oneofus.nz. I'm happy to answer questions.
You're lovely. You're lovely. Thank you so much, Karin.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure, my dear. Bye-bye. There we go. That is Karin Horen.
106.3 Beach FM.